Hello, welcome to yet another video of Acharya Nidana Academy. In this particular video, we are going to discuss one of the major topic where an Ayurveda learner, specifically a Roga Nidana learner, will be having the difficulty. That is Sapeksha Nidana and Vyavacchedaka Nidana. What actually, before going into the subject proper, we are going to learn something new about the some of the concept we need to concretize. As usual, we are learning in the previous videos. The first, if you know about the physics, chemistry and biology and Ayurveda fundamentals, then any of the concepts which are mentioned in Ayurveda can be learned with the deepest understanding. So, second, whenever if you want to have a deep dive understanding, we need to practice the concept of minimalism. Minimalism refers to we need to go into one small topic. From the multiple angles, we have to look into those particular concepts. So, for example, let us say the concept of Vata dosha. Concept of Vata dosha from the point of Rachana Sharira, from the point of Kriya Sharira, from the point of Roga Nidana, from the point of Kaya Chikitsa, from the point of Dravya Guna, from the point of Rashastra Vaishya Kalpana. So, like that. So, we are going to from that particular topic from multiple angles. In other words, we are going to do the brainstorming of one particular topic. Then we can have a deep dive understanding. And whenever if you want to have the deepest understanding, if you want to have the concepts of Ayurveda, first of all learn the concept of Kriya Sharira well. So when you know about each and every corner of Kriya Sharira, then learning Roga Nidana is not at all a difficult thing. It's very easy. When you are learning each and every corner of Roga Nidana, then practicing Kaya Chikitsa or learning Kaya Chikitsa is not at all a difficult thing. In other words, physiology, nothing but a Kriya Sharira. Extended physiology is nothing but the Roga Nidana, and or altered physiology is nothing but the Roga Nidana. Whereas the restoring the physiology or restoring the altered physiology is Kaya Chikitsa. So, whenever if you want to have the deepest understanding, you need to know about these three subjects very well. All the other subjects which are mentioned in Ayurveda, they are supporting these main three subjects. Then, whenever if you want to have the learning, try to identify the concepts. So that means the patterns. Pattern identification is very, very important. So what do you mean by pattern? Pattern is nothing but as repeatedly occurring observations. So whenever if you say about the Vata dosha vitiation, so that may involve 3 or 4 different steps. For example, let us take the consumption of what you say that the dry what you say that the fruit, or otherwise when you say about the curds, presence the first of all the certain amount of the curd that is being taken, so that is entering into the body, that is second step. Then that is staying in the body, specifically in the amasya for longer time, third step. So that is resulting in the increase of the kapha dosha in the body, fourth step. So like that. So if you are able to look into the patterns, that means that is helpful in modifying the pattern. So that means the person is consuming the curds, immediately stop the curds, thereby there may be a possibility of decrease of the kapha dosha, which is going where the increase of the kapha dosha is happening by continuous consumption of curds. Then pattern creation, something new you are going to make it, or otherwise, so person is consuming curds for longer amount of time, then we are going to minimize the consumption. Instead we are going to say the patient to take the what you say that the hot water or warm water, thereby there may be a possibility of pacification of the kapha dosha there. Then learning Ayurveda, that is nothing but the application of physics itself. So that means Ayurveda, that is specifically is told about the lifestyle. There are certain things that is being told, so those aspects nothing but the application of physics itself. Follow one particular mentor. So that means Nowadays, multiple informations, millions of informations are available in the social media, which is being said by millions of people. So that means we have to be very careful to know about it, because if you are able to follow multiple mentors, then we are actually keeping our legs in multiple boats. So that means if you are keeping your leg in multiple boats, naturally you are not going to have any of the uh, further progression. Hence, whenever if you want to learn the Ayurveda, specifically follow one particular mentor. Thereby you can able to identify his past processes, present processes and future processes also. That is the reason. And the whenever if you are following the Ayurveda information, learn Ayurveda information as it is. And whenever if you want to have the learning of Western information as it is, and try to bridge the information at multiple levels. If you are able to bridge the information at multiple levels, and then it is being, you can able to infer that you are moving in the right direction. And the last concept that we need to concretize, that is, you have to learn the Ayurveda like learning a new language. That means most frequently used words, we are going to you learn those informations, then less frequently used words, then less frequently used words. In that way we are going to learn the Ayurveda. And learning Roga Nidana is also in the same way. Most frequently used words first, then less frequently used words, then less frequently used words, like that. So now, coming to the concept of Sapeksha Vyavacchedaka Nidana. Before going into that particular aspect, why this particular Sapeksha Nidana Vyavacchedaka Nidana is very, very important? Because the Ayurveda says, whenever a disease manifests, that is actually resulting in the imbalance in the dosha, or the whatever the bioenergies are being present in the body, either it may be vata dosha or pitta dosha or kapha dosha, or there may be a possibility of abnormalcy in raja dosha as well as tamo dosha also, which are considered to be a manasika dosha. So there is being mentioned in Sushruta Samhita, doshadinam tu asamata anumanena lakshe aprasannendriyam viksha purusham kushalo bisham. In that particular sense, whenever if you want to know about the abnormality, so we have to be we need to identify the abnormalities of the dosha in the body. That can be inferred only. How we are going to infer? Aprasannendriyam viksha. That means here the aprasannendriya means, that is what actually, that is means the abnormal functioning or discomfort in the indriya. So that means indriya means that is either jnanendriya or karmendriya. So here aprasannendriya in terms of jnanendriya, and say about the nose. So that means abnormal perception. The person is unable to perceive at all. So Shrotrendriya, the person is unable to hear the words at all, or if he is hearing the abnormal sounds. And in terms of the taste, unable to perceive the taste, or otherwise he is perceiving abnormal taste perception. Vision, reduced vision or abnormal vision or blurred vision, that is aprasannendriyam. Then twak, in terms of the itching or abnormality, or in terms of the ulcer, etc., burning sensation, it is aprasannendriya in relation to twak. In terms of karmendriya, vak, unable to speak at all, or if at all if he is speaking, he is the incomprehensible, the person who is uttering the words, where the another person who is hearing those words cannot able to identify what he is saying. In terms of the pada, unable to walk, so pain in the joint, etc. That is what we can say in terms of the pada. In terms of the hasta, unable to write, unable to lift, unable to hold. Upastha, that means where the person is what do you say, that the genitals, the proper maturation is not there, or the person is unable to have the sexual pleasures, etc. In terms of the upastha. Payu, the defecation is not happening properly, or if at all it is happening, it is very hard fecal that is going to get passed, or the person is getting the what you say that the giddiness by going to the what you say that the defecation, that means that much amount of the heart stool is being present, so that is prasannendriyam in terms of the karmendriya we can say. So by looking into that aspect, we are going to infer the person is having the abnormalities present in the dosha in the human body. So this is what we can say by looking into that aspect. So the Sapeksha Nidana Vyavacchedaka Nidana is playing a major role in determining this particular aspect. When you think about the methods of diagnosis as far as in Ayurveda is concerned, so that is being said to be in Charaka Samhita, that is being said Tasmat Vikara Prakriti Adhishtanantarani cha Samuthana Visheshamsha Buddhva Karmam Samacharet. So that means here the three major aspects in terms of the diagnosis we are going to consider as far as Ayurveda principles are concerned. First of all, Vikara Prakriti. So that means we need to know about the what is the nature of the disease. For example, when you say about the Jvara, Ayurveda says the Jvara Pratyadvikam Lingam Santapo Deha Manasaha. Whenever if you say about the Santapa or the discomfort, specifically burning sensation or Daha etc. in terms of the body and mind, that is specifically indicative of Jvara. So that means which is indicative of the Pitta dosha dominance. So Gulma, a disease which is considered to be specifically present in the abdominal region. The swelling, chronic swelling present in the abdominal region, which is specifically indicative of Vata dosha, and it is present specifically in the Udara Pradesha. So this is what we can say, that is the Vikara Prakriti, or in other words, the person who is having the Khasa, so that means he will be producing a specific the sound which is considered to be as per the broken bronze vessel. As per the Ayurveda it is being considered Kamsya Swanatulya Ghoshaha. So that means it is the bronze vessel, as if the broken bronze vessel, the production of the sound will be similar to that in case of the Kasa Roga. So like that it is actually considered to be Vikara Prakriti. Then comes the Adhisthana Antara. What actually Adhisthana Antara means what? So that means we need to know about the exact site of the disease, where actually so this particular disease is being located. So when you think about it in terms of the human body, Ayurveda says it is Vishadanga, that is 6 parts, 2 limbs, upper limbs, 2 lower limbs, 1 thorax and abdomen, and 1 head and neck. Which part of the body is being afflicted? So that is we can able to know about it. So that will be helpful in determining the disease as such, or otherwise whether in which particular part of the Srotas that is being located, whether it is in the Pranavaha Srotas, or whether is it in the Rasavaha Srotas, whether is it in the Shukravaha Srotas, whether is it in the Purushavaha Srotas, in terms of the Srotas as such. Whereas in terms of the what you say that the in terms of the dhatu, whether it is present in the rasa dhatu, whether is it present in the rakta dhatu, whether is it present in the mamsa dhatu, etc. Well, otherwise, by which particular what do you say that the ashaya, whether is it amashaya or is it the pakvashaya, or which particular part of the dosha sthana, whether is it in the present, we know about the vata dosha, pakvashaya kati sakti shrotrasti sparshana indriyam sthanam vatasya tatra pakvadhanam visheshatah. So we need to know about which particular sthana of vata dosha is being afflicted, so that can be identified by looking into the patient's symptoms. So like that we need to know about which particular site of the body the disease is being present. So that has to be noted. So this is what we can consider to be Adhisthana Antara. Or otherwise, as per the Roga Marg understanding, whether the pathogen is present in the alimentary canal, or whether the pathogen is present in the intravascular compartment, or whether the pathogen is present in the interstitial compartment, or whether the pathogen is present in the intracellular compartment, or whether the pathogen is present in any 2 compartments, or any 3 compartments, or any 4 compartments. So that we need to know about specifically when we are making about the dissecting this particular in the concept called adhisthana antara. The third point, that is what samutthana vishesha. Ayurveda says the samutthana refers to what? It is the nidana or etiological factor. So that means, so the specifically Ayurveda says regarding the vata dosha prakopa karana vyayamat apatarpanat prapatanat bhangat kshayat jagarat veganam cha vidharanat atishuchah shaityad atitrasatah rukshakshoba kashayatittagatukairevih prakopam prajet vayuhu varidharagame parinate chanya paranne apicha. So we need to know about which particular nidana the person is having the affliction. So when you say about the Shita aspect, the Shita guna which is responsible for the Vata dosha prakopa, so that may be a possibility of affliction of this or the Shita guna in the respiratory system. There may be a possibility of Shita guna exposure to the cardiovascular system, the Shita guna exposure to the alimentary canal, Shita guna exposure to the urinary system, Shita guna exposure to the Purusha Srotas, etc. When you think about all these aspects, so which particular part of this nidana, whether it is Shita guna itself or whether it is Shita along with the Ruksha guna or whether it is Shita, Ruksha or Lagu guna aspect, by that we can able to analyze which particular the nidana is responsible for the manifestation of the disease as such. So coming to the Sapeksha Nidana, what actually Sapeksha Nidana refers to? So that means the listing out the diseases which are having the similar clinical features. So when you think about there are several examples I have given here: Grahani, Atisara and Pravahika. All the three are considered to be having the affliction of Purishabha Srotas. Here there will be, the person may be having unformed stool, whereas Grahani is one such vikara where there may be a possibility of the formed stool also in some of the occasions. So listing out the diseases which are having similar clinical presentation, that is what we can say, that is Sapeksha Nidana. When you think about the Kasa, Prana Srotas affliction is being seen. So determining the dosha dominance, whether is it Vata Jakasa or Pitta Jakasa or Kapha Jakasa or Kshata Jakasa or Kshaya Jakasa, that is considered to be the concept of Vyavacchedaka Nidana there. And the third thing, that is listing out the Udara aspect, that is the Utseda, that is the generalized swelling of the abdomen. Jalodara may be the case, or otherwise Thaulya may be the case, or Plihodara or Chidrodara, etc. Depending upon the presence of other clinical features, these are the diseases that can be differentiated. As far as the present day Western medicine is concerned, chest pain or chest discomfort, which may be present in case of the respiratory disease, which may be present in case of the cardiovascular disease, which may be present in case of the alimentary canal disease, which may be present in case of musculoskeletal disease, which may be present in case of neurological disease. So these are the listing out the disease which are having the chest discomfort. Whereas abdominal pain, let us look into that. In terms of epigastric pain, we need to know about the presence of, what is say, that the involvement of the stomach or involvement of the esophagus or involvement of the pancreas or involvement of the suprarenal gland or adrenal gland. So that means these are the ways where we are going to listing out the disease which are having the similar clinical features. This is what is called a Sapeksha Nidana. Whereas Vyavacchedaka Nidana is nothing but differentiating the diseases which are having the similar clinical features. So here we have discussed about the Grahani, that is the Purusha Srotas affliction, where we have seen it there. Grahani, Atisara and Pravahika. These are the three diseases which are having the Purusha Srotas affliction. But how to differentiate all these three? So Grahani, wherein involvement of Annava Srotas is also evident, along with unformed stools occasionally, and that may be associated with emaciation of the body, and it is considered to be a chronic disease or chirakari vikara. So in one of the patient approached me, so in one of the the private clinic where I was practicing. So he had the presenting complaint of what he say the unformed stool from the past 1.5 years. So when it was being started at the beginning, he had 75 kilogram. But when he approached me, he had the weight of 37 kilogram. This is a clear indication of what is it that the Grahani Roga. Whereas Atisara, it is where involvement of the Purishava Srotas is there, but here liquid stools or semi-solid stools is evident, and it is a short, or the duration of the illness in this particular occasion will be very shorter. Whereas Prabahika, where the presence of mucus is being present, that means wherein large intestine is considered to be the one which is responsible for the more and more amount of the mucus secretion. When there is any irritating substances enter into the large intestine, that may be responsible for the more and more amount of the secretion of mucus into the large intestine, and this is what is considered to be getting expelled through the anus, and this is what we can say that is about the Prabahika. And when you think about the another understanding, that is as far as the Western clinical understanding, that is the chest discomfort, wherein the respiratory disease, wherein the person may be having the pain on the either sides of the chest, the person will be having the pain. Whereas the cardiac disease, the person will be having the pain which is considered to be present in the retrosternal region, which is radiating towards the left scapula. Here the black colored arrow, that is indicating the probable diagnosis of cardiac disease, may be the diagnosis there. Wherein alimentary canal disease, wherein diagnosis will be in the the red colored arrow, and it is having the relation with the food intake. Wherein the musculoskeletal disease, wherein the person may be having the pain which is considered to be present locally, and it is worsening on change of posture. Whereas neurological disease, where the person will be having the pain which is considered to be dermatomal presentation, having the dermatomal presentations, and that is not crossing the midline. This is what is considered to be Vyavacchedaka Nidana. Sapeksha Nidana is what? Sapeksha Nidana is nothing but the listing out the diseases, whereas Vyavacchedaka Nidana is nothing but ruling out the listed diseases one by one by looking into the presence or absence of other clinical features. So this is what is considered to be the take-home messages, that is Sapeksha Nidana. You need to know about the listing of the diseases which are having the clinical presentation, having that is similar clinical presentation. Then Vyavacchedaka Nidana is nothing but the ruling out the different clinical conditions that you have mentioned from the list, and ruling out by looking into the presence or absence of associated Lakshana. That's all for today. If you are liking this particular video, then like the video and mention below what are the major 3 key takeaways. And if you want to have the new info that you want to learn, mention below what is that particular subject or the topic that you want to have the understanding. And if you liked this particular video, then spread this particular video to maximum Ayurveda learners, so that let's make a huge movement out of this particular small message. That's all for today. Thank you, and we'll learn some new topic in the next video.